how's it going? I'm getting ready to plant the front flower beds by our front entryway on the old side of the house, and I'm really excited about the grouping of plants that are going in. I think they're going to be so pretty together, but I also want to talk about the area as a whole. So you can see that the locust tree starts to shade this side kind of in the late afternoon, but the other side remains in full sun until a little bit later in the day. I've already got the plants laid out kind of how I want them planted, but you can see that I've pretty much done nothing over here. I mean, I planted the limelight hydrangea that was in the spot that the AC unit was put on the side of the house. I brought it over here, and I'm hoping that because I have 3 limelights right there, that I draw a little bit of that interest over here, so that it was kind of unified. This area will never be balanced because the front of the house is not balanced, but I think having that one will kind of help. Of course, it's kind of behind the other ones, but that's okay. And I haven't really thought about what I want to do in this spot yet. I've thought about putting in a great big architectural evergreen with some other things around it, you know, kind of stair-stepping down. I've also thought about putting a great big container, like a big concrete, beautiful ornate container up there where I could put something gorgeous in it, and either something that could stay, you know, like in the back of the house I have a Japanese maple in a pot back there that's lived for like the last 2 or I think this might be its 3rd season, and it's gorgeous. If I could do something like that up here, that would be wonderful, and then there would be a little bit more weight in that area, and then I could fill in around the base of it, but I'm just not sure, and I don't want to make any rushed decisions. You know, I don't want to throw anything in there or just throw whatever in there and then regret it later and be pulling it out, because I feel like I do that a lot. Also, we've still got pansies from last fall. Look at that. They're still blooming, but they're starting to look a little sad because it's been in the like 90s, low 90s for the last couple of days, and they don't like that sitting up here in the full sun. So I need to get those cleaned out here pretty quick and then get the boxwoods all trimmed up. And then these, see how much better these pansies look on this side. These get a little bit more shade, so they're a lot happier. So I'd love to hear some of your opinions on what I should do in this area up here. I don't even know if I'm gonna do it this year. We have a lot of other things going on, like the west side of the house. We actually have a big water issue over there. We have a couple big holes dug up trying to fix some pipes. And then I'm hoping to get that, it's not even all mulched yet. It's just like one thing after another. I don't know if it's like that for you guys, but I'm hoping to at least get it mulched by the end of the season and we'll be good. Same kind of for this area here. But since these plants are in the shade, I think we'll be able to see them pretty good. I think this is gonna be such a pretty blend. So this one right here is called Truffula Pink Gomphrena. Let me show you the tag. I've never grown this one before. It's a type of globe amaranth that grows about 22 to 28 inches tall. It also attracts honeybees and butterflies. And the thing about this one that I have heard is that it has a really rounded growth habit, like a really symmetrical, like beautiful growth habit. So not only does it bloom from the time you plant it until frost, but it also looks pretty, just the plant looks nice. They're also heat and drought tolerant, which is really nice, especially if you live in an area where it gets so hot and it's so dry here. Up here, it's not as big of an issue because they are all fairly evenly watered. The one problem with this spot is that we haven't figured out how to get these 2 beds separate from our grass. So they're watered from overhead, and we have very hard water. So last year we put in Meteor Shower Verbena as our centerpiece. It was gorgeous, you guys. I had that with Supertunia Hot Pink Charm. Yes, and a potato vine, and it was so gorgeous, but eventually the hard water crusted up on that Meteor Shower Verbena and made it look kind of sad, and it was like suffering toward the end of the season. We did get a few months where it looked really nice. So this is kind of a gamble. Like, I don't know if this Gomphrena is going to handle the overhead water a little bit better. I'm hopeful that it will, but I think it'll create a really nice centerpiece because it grows 22 to 28 inches tall. So we'll get the nice height in the center, and then our next step down will be our Supertunia. Let me show you that one. So this is a new favorite of mine. This is called Supertunia Morning Glory Charm. So this one grows about 10 inches tall and then spreads out. But the thing that I love about these, so the charm that I grew up here last year was gorgeous, and it filled in like around my verbena and came out the front, and the blooms were amazing on it all summer long. But I love that this gives you the purple without becoming a dark spot in your flower bed. Because if you have a deep purple, sometimes you can kind of lose it, especially if you use dark mulch like I do. But because this one has a white throat, it really shines. Like, it just shows up. I mean, if I just kind of like pan over, you can just see them so well. And so I think that they're going to be a really bright spot, and they bring that purple element. And then the last plant is our lemon coral charm right here, which I love this sedum. It's so soft and it's such a versatile plant. So we used it in the hay racks up front last year. If you saw those videos, it did get eventually, I had some super petunias in there that grow like crazy big, and it got a little bit enveloped by those, but I was really quite pleased with how it kept up. Like, it was still vigorous. You could go look at it and the plants were just huge. They held up to the amount of water we were having to give those baskets. Like, we have to water those 10 to 15 minutes twice a day when it gets over 100, which is for a good month out of our summer. And that lemon coral sedum, even though it's a sedum, a succulent, it still grew, and none of them, not a single one of them rotted. So I just think they're a great plant. They can also take a little bit of shade, which up here I have to have plants that can do that, because this side where I'm sitting right here does get a little bit more shade. I mean, it gets a good block. I mean, it gets over 8 hours of sun, but it gets a little more shade in the evening than the other side. So I'm hopeful that we have a nice tall layer with the Gomphrena, and then our second layer will be the Super Petunia Morning Glory Charm, and then our bottom layer will be the Lemon Coral Sedum. So I'd actually tried to order some coral colored geraniums to be my centerpiece plants in both of these areas, and I'm actually a little bit happy that they didn't come in. Like, I had some issues trying to get those in, and so the Gomphrena I thought would be, I think in the end it's going to be prettier because it gets taller, and I think I need that up here. And then the geraniums do require some maintenance. Like, you do have to come out and deadhead them. That's another thing about all the plants I'm using. They require no maintenance other than fertilizing once they're in the ground. Like, the Gomphrena and Super Petunias do not have to be deadheaded, and with as many annual containers as we do, like, I can't have that kind of maintenance. And I thought with the geraniums, like, okay, I can do one area with geraniums since I don't use those very often, and it wouldn't be that much maintenance, but I think that in the end, I'm gonna enjoy this so much more. I would love to know how many of you guys save areas in your garden just for annuals. I just love having spots like this where I can be like, I can have fun. I can try out new plants. If I don't like it, I can do something different the next year. It just kind of, it's a no commitment kind of gardening, which is good for me because I like to try out so many different types of plants. But I do see the merit of changing some areas over to more permanent plantings. Like, recently we just planted a hedge of firelight hydrangeas in that flower bed that parallels our barn, where I've planted just annuals the past 2 years, and I've loved it. But I'm also looking forward to having those hydrangeas there and having something that will last a lot longer. So basically all I need to do now is get these plants in the ground, and then we'll see how they all look together. Done, and I think they look so great. And I was realizing as I was planting that I just kind of flip-flopped my color scheme from last year. So last year I had that meteor shower in the middle, which was my purple centerpiece, and then I had that hot pink charm below, so pink, and then my yellow was in the, or my chartreuse was in the potato vine. So I have the chartreuse with the lemon coral, my centerpiece is pink, and my understory plant is purple. I don't know if that's significant or not. But anyway, I think it's really pretty. So here's a little close-up, and they're just looking so fresh. I love it when we get fresh plants put in the ground. Here's this side right here. Earlier today, they looked like white cakey dirt with a bunch of weeds. And before I started filming this video, I decided to spread a little bit of mulch just to cover that kind of awful looking soil, but these plants will fill in so fast that the mulch really isn't necessary, but it does make for a beautiful finished product. And it's a huge difference from this bed to this bed. The front ones look so much better. So I need to start tackling these right here. I need to get some fresh plants in those urns, and then we'll be all ready to go for the season. And here's the backed up view. Anyway, this is one of our last big annual plantings for the year. We have like certain ones in our garden that we always do every single year. And then we're planning on doing a full garden tour so we can show you where we're at with everything. We still have a lot of projects that are just still like just being started or just like right in the middle of stuff, but that's just kind of how our garden is. It's just an ever evolving project. So anyway, thank you guys so much for watching this video. I can't wait to give you updates. We will see you in the next one. Bye.